guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're back at the original Palm Tree Pavilion because guess what? We're here to talk about compact sedans. I have a 2021 totally redesigned Hyundai Elantra. This is an SEL with the convenience package, but what I want to do is I want to see how this compact sedan stacks up to the competition. But before we do, let's talk a little bit about Hyundai. They've been around since the 1980s here in the United States selling vehicles. They had one nameplate, the Excel. Hatchback or sedan, to be honest with you, the Excel is the great granddaddy of this Hyundai Elantra. Now new for 2021, totally redesigned from top to bottom, the chassis, the whole 9 yards. What that means is you're actually gonna get a little bit larger of a compact sedan. And remember, we're going to try to compare this as best as we can to the other main players. Obviously, we're looking at the Honda Civic, the Toyota Camry, the Mazda 3, and the sister brand, the Kia Forte. Let's just throw in, just for good measure, also the Nissan Sentra. That really would just kind of be the cherry on top of this compact sedan sundae. But it's not Sunday. Today's actually Friday, and what I want to do is I want to try to figure out, should you be buying this all new redesigned 2021 Elantra, or should you be going to one of the competitors? And if you are going to buy this one, is it the SEL trim, which is that sweet spot in the trim lineup? Let's go ahead. We got this bright blue Elantra. Let's find out if we could answer all that in one video. Let's do it. Right off the bat, the styling is very, very aggressive. They really went super geometric with all the shapes. At the front of the business, I like the way they got rid of those Dorito chip style headlights on the last model year. They went with this nice flowing headlight design, goes nicely into the grille. Of course, you're gonna have LED headlights. You got your LED daytime running lamps. Everything else is blacked out on the interior of the housing. Looks very, very sporty. We drop down, what do we have? Fake vents? No, no, no. We have functional side air curtains. I'm really digging on this SEL trim, the black chrome finish. Looks really great. You can see how that lower lip spoiler kind of just extends out. It's all blended into the front fascia, but it extends out very nicely. And there's that geometric shape that's going on. Everywhere there's triangles, but they all fit together very nicely. Now, as we come across the new grille on this SEL trim, it's all blacked out, that nice black chrome finish. I kind of like it better than just gloss black. Definitely like it better than flat black because there is a lot of grille on the front end of the business on this Elantra. But the nice design that they have that really flows from one headlight housing to the other looks really clean. We drop our way down. You do have a functional lower area here, and you can see how they finish it off with a little bit of flat black just along the edge there. Now, one thing I wish they would have done, and I'm gonna zonk it, is if you're gonna do all this great black dark chrome finish, should have did that to the Hyundai badge right here on the front fascia. But as you jump on up to the hood, you can see where the body lines start, and then nice hard edge all the way to the windshield. Really gives it, like I said, a nice flow. And it's crazy because I look at this Elantra and I don't think compact car. It's really getting close to a mid-sized car, but aren't all cars going in that direction? They all seem to get bigger and bigger. But definitely on the front end, when you're comparing it to the competition, I think they took some of that geometric aggressive look from the Civic, but they did it a little bit more on a cleaner side. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. You're gonna get these 17-inch wheels, machined aluminum with that gunmetal metallic gray finish. It's got a nice twisting action to it. And when you're comparing it to the others, this seems to be that wheel size, 17, 18-inch wheel. I know when you go Civic or Corolla on the lower trims, you could sometimes get a 16-inch wheel, but it's nice to have a 17-inch. I think that's a good in-between. 225 on the width and a 45 series sidewall. You can see the hard body line looking really good in the fender. Now coming into the fender, you'll notice another body line that picks up, and that's where it's gonna flare out really nicely as it goes down the side. And if you compare this Elantra to the SUV known as the Tucson that is redesigned for 2022 model year, there's a lot of the same similarity in the geometric shapes, especially on the doors. So you can see how you have a body line going down, one coming up at an angle. It really shows a lot of motion, even though the vehicle is sitting still. And when you compare this to, say, the Mazda 3, Mazda 3 has very, very little straight edges. Everything is rounded. So this is almost like the total opposite of that. You have flat black on the door frames, just on the top, and then some bright, shiny metalwork along the bottom. It would have been nice to see this finished in a dark chrome coating rather than the bright, shiny metal. Kind of match it with the grille a little bit more, but you do get color matched on the mirror caps, turn signals built in, do have a sunroof. As we work our way back, I don't know why they went with a gloss black shark fin antenna. I am gonna zonk that. They should have just painted blue. Another area that's a little weird is this back portion by the rear pillar. Instead of having a quarter window, they went with this massive piece of black plastic. Now, when you're comparing this to the Corolla, to the Civic, to the Mazda 3, even the Forte, they don't have anything like that. And I think the glass would make it look a little bit nicer rather than the flat black. But you do have these vortex generators that's meant to clean the air as it comes towards the rear. Hard body line coming into that rear pillar and into the trunk. And then as we wrap it around, it's kind of weird how they fooled you. They make you think like it's gonna be a Sportback, sort of like a Stinger setup, but it's not. This actually has a trunk, but this massive piece of gloss black kind of gives you the illusion that this whole rear area is gonna pop up when in reality it does not. But I do like the way they brought the lines from the rear pillar into the trunk, and then taillights, they hit the nail on the head. Very, very aggressive, just like the headlights up front. LED looking good. You got the updated Elantra name looking really clean. And then as we drop down, same story. You have this aggressive lower rear bumper area. It looks like it wants to be like a race car diffuser, but you know what? No fake vents, no fake exhaust, which is fine. I'm okay with these little horizontal bars on each corner. Looks all right, but really the way they did the trunk at this angle, super, super aggressive, and they hit the button perfectly right in this gloss black area. You can see that beautiful LED lighting, but why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering our Elantra. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I'm not gonna zonk it though on an SEL trim. This is, like I said, trying to be that value price leader, but giving you a lot of other niceties. Underneath that hood is naturally aspirated power. And when you look at the competitors in this class, you're gonna get a lot of naturally aspirated engines. Now, the bad news is when you compare it to those others, you're gonna be on the short side of the horsepower wars. So what you're looking at is a naturally aspirated 2-liter inline 4 that pumps out 147 horsepower, 131 pound-feet of torque. If you compare that, say, to a Honda, the Honda Sport with the 2-liter naturally aspirated engine puts out around 158 horsepower. If you look at the Mazda 3 naturally aspirated, that's 187 horsepower. It's a 2.5-liter inline 4. The other piece of the zonk puzzle is this does have a CVT. Now, before you start going crazy in the comment section, just let it be known that the Honda Civic has a CVT. The Toyota Corolla has a CVT. The Kia Forte has a CVT. The one that does not, standard, is gonna be the Mazda 3. You get a 6-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in a sluggish 8.1 seconds. The car does weigh 2,900 pounds. It is front-wheel drive, obviously. MPGs 33 in the city, which is gonna give you some nice, respectable returns on those miles per gallon. Underneath the hood, there's not a bunch of plastic covers, which is kind of nice. I like to see what's going on when I pop open the hood. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the interior and see what the SEL trim with the convenience package brings to the table. All right, guys, we're inside this 2021 Hyundai Elantra. This is that SEL with the convenience package. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, you raise a very good question, as you always do. I'm looking for a compact car. It's tough. It really is tough, but I'm glad that I could watch Raiti's rides and try to get an advantage when looking at these cars. How much is this one? That's a very good question. Thank you for the compliments, by the way. If you're wondering how much this car is, MSRP, SEL with the convenience package, and wait until you see what you get with that package, you're looking at right around $25,000. Let's see what you get to the door panels. Now, the door panels have a lot of dark material, and up top, we're gonna have to rip the zonk right off. You do have hard plastic along the top edge of the door panel, but the great news is, look at that middle section. It's like a neoprene wetsuit material. I like the stitch work, and you'll notice that speaker grill cover for the tweeter. Very, very tastefully done. Doesn't look too overly fashioned. Now the armrest is a joke, and I am gonna have to zonk that. There's absolutely no padding there. I don't know why they did that, but you do have a little bit of silver for the door handle. Everything else is flat black. Door pocket is super tight. One Boston cream donut and one only, and a small bottle. Maybe you're gonna have to go can of Yoo-hoo, which I hate the taste of aluminum can of Yoo-hoo. It just doesn't taste right. You do have the Bose sound system though, which is a nice addition. Gonna give you some clear music, some nice clarity to your tunes. Going from the door panel to the dash, this material is soft. Why didn't they put this on the door panel is beyond me, but you got soft touch. Love the way they did the horizontal trim here. Goes from the AC vent to the AC vents, and then we get to the updated infotainment system. Now, 8 inches may not seem like a big deal, but I promise you, if you use it right, 8 inches is a huge deal. And the reason why is that you have a touchscreen. Obviously, we have our Sirius XM satellite radio, but you also have wireless. Did you pick up on that? Wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. If you go with the bigger screen, you don't get that, which that just blows my mind. But very intuitive, very easy to use. Right back to home, and there you are. Sliding on down, you get a nice bright start-stop button. Almost forgot. Let me show you the backup camera. Shame on me. Takes up all 8 inches. Thank you, Hyundai, for doing that. You got your trajectory. Put it right back in the park. We're right back. So there's that start-stop button. You have dual climate control, believe it or not. Dual climate control. At this price point, you're not going to get that with the others. Heated seats. This is all part of that convenience package. I want to showcase the oh crap handle. Hashtag race car. They give your passenger this weird handle to hold on to. I don't know why, because we're not going to be accelerating that quickly. And you also have a little bit of a beef jerky holder down here. So if you have your ground up beef jerky, fill that up in there for your passenger as they're holding on to the oh crap handle. I'm going to move the shifter out of the way to allow some more visual real estate, but we have a 12 volt USB and another USB, and guess what? Convenience gives us wireless charging. So you have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and wireless charging, and a little place for a couple Snickers bars. Shifter. This is going to control that CVT transmission. You got your drive modes, which I'll show you when you come to the business side of things. You got your electric e-brake, a little bit of gloss black around the cup holders and whatnot. Look at this little trick. Let me get the key fob out here. Look at this. You could actually adjust the height of the cup holders. That's smart engineering. And if somebody's pissing you off in the back seat, you can just throw that right at their head. Key fob. Don't throw this at anybody because you're going to need it. I like the Hyundai badge there. Flip it around. You got remote start, all your buttons. Now I got more room here. Same thing on this armrest. I wouldn't call it an armrest. I would just call it a thing because it's as hard as a rock. Pick it up. You do have plenty of room in here for at least one softball. So if you're done playing with your ball, you could put it in here. Or if you have two smaller balls, if you're done playing with your balls, you could put them in here. Seats, we just had a husky in here. So that's where all this hair is coming from. But you got cloth seats with a little bit of trim. It shows how the hair kind of sticks to the cloth seats. Manual controls for the passenger. I have electric assist because guess what? I'm the boss. And that's what my dad used to say to me. I'm the boss, that's why. And not only am I the boss, but because of the convenience package, we have electric and we got a sunroof. $25,000. The competition's got to bring it. Why don't you bring your rear end over here? Because I want to show you behind the business end on this Elantra. All right, guys, before we get attacked again by the seagulls, let's talk about the business end. You do have nice electric assist, easy to get to. Like I said, for the driver only. If you want more electric, you got to go higher trim. I got plenty of room in here, and that's the thing. This new chassis, lots of room, especially if you compare it to the Mazda 3 or the Kia Forte. This definitely has more room. It's going to be a mixed bag between the Civic and the Corolla, but you do your homework and definitely sit your butt in these seats. Steering wheel, you're getting leather wrap because we have the convenience package. It's grown on me. These steering wheels are growing on me. The horn button, I just wish they would have done just a little bit more style to it. But other than that, simple on the buttons. And then guess what? You have a tilting and telescoping steering wheel. It's all manual control, which is nice. But look what we have to top it off. You got a full digital display there. So that's another 10.3-inch display. Love the graphics, love the font, love the clarity. You go into your different modes. Sport. The race is on. I'm ready to rock and roll. You go into smart, That actually improves your IQ by about 25 points. And then we're gonna go right back to normal. But who wants to be normal? We're staying in sport. The one major zonk I have is for the Death Star. So if you're a Star Wars fan, you're gonna love this because that's their version of the Death Star. For me, I am a Star Wars fan, but I don't want the Death Star in my car. And what I mean by that is that's fake. This is just a decorative thing to take up space. And if you're probably saying, well, Joe, why? Why would they do that? It's because it's a novelty mode button, sport mode button in the Elantra N-Line. Kind of ridiculous, but it is what it is. Something to take into consideration. But let's get to the back seat and see what this larger Elantra is gonna bring for your passengers. All right, guys, backseat time, and I'm telling you, this is where this Elantra feels like a Sonata. It feels like a mid-sized vehicle. I'm 6 feet tall still. I got plenty of legroom, plenty of headroom. But if you're about to say, wow, Joe, is this Elantra perfect? Is this the perfect compact? Close, but no cigar. And I can tell you where that originated from, but that's for another review. First of all, we have no pocket behind the driver's seat. That's a bit of a zonk, especially if you're bringing the convenience. Where's the convenience for this passenger to put their stuff? No convenience. Let's get to this guy right here. No rear AC, no connectivity, no 12 volt, USB, USB-C, nothing. That's all you got. Plug into that and see how your phone charges. On the other hand, I have a cargo net. The bummer about that is that if you need to put your Ginsu knife collection somewhere, you can't put it in there because you're gonna rip right through the net. Seats though, feel good. Armrests, semi-comfortable with 2 cup holders. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the trunk. I can't believe the amount of headroom I have. I have to just point that out again. There's a lot of headroom back here, but let's get to the trunk and see how much space we have for the junk that you want to put in your trunk. All right, guys, time to get into the trunk. How do we open it? Button. Who's got a button? Like I showed you, it's right here. I like the way they hide it. Lift it up, and you are gonna be greeted by a very, very wide and tall opening, 14 cubic feet of space. So when you're putting this up against the competition, they're definitely bringing it when it comes to trunk volume space. I like the way they smartened up and they put the pull levers here so that you could fold down those seats. And then of course, underneath the cargo mat, you are getting a spare. You don't always get that with the competition. Drop that back down, pop that trunk down. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in this Elantra. All right, guys, we're in the 2021 Elantra redesigned SEL trim with the convenience package. I have it in sport mode. How do I know? You can tell by the red face gauges. On throttle, here we go. So you have simulated shifts from that CVT transmission, makes it behave a little bit more like a traditional torque converter automatic transmission. Visibility is fantastic in here. You're gonna get the safety features you want, the blind spot monitoring, good mirror size. When you're looking at the competition, it's definitely much more spacious than I think all of them. The Civic might come very, very close from my current memory of it, but other than that, it is super large on the interior. The way the dash is set up, it's easy to see the 8-inch infotainment system. Of course, you got perfect sight line for the 10.3-inch digital gauge display. When you go into sport mode, that's going to change the parameters of how the engine and transmission behave. Also, throttle sensitivity and steering. Speaking of steering, it's got a nice weight to it. Not too light, not too heavy. I think they really sorted that out well. Thickness of the steering wheel is spot on the money. And getting to everything is super easy in here. The only thing that's a little bit of an eyesore is gonna be the Death Star over there. But if I were you, I would get some stickers, some Star Wars stickers, and kind of put it around the rest of that area to really bring out the whole Star Wars effect. But let's see how the handling goes. We're gonna go into this U-turn under here on the brakes. Front wheel drive. I'm telling you, the work they did into this chassis is very nicely done. All the way around. On throttle, here we go. I like the way when you make adjustments, it shows up on the dash. So I went from the headlights being on to the headlights being in auto, and it shows you so you don't have to stare at the stock, which is nice. Does that for the windshield wipers as well. But out on the highway, it's got a nice ride to it. It's a little bit of wind noise, but the good news is it's not a lot of road noise. And even though it doesn't have a ton of horsepower, it's right down there with the Sentra, it actually feels pretty good overall. I think for somebody who's not really concerned, that just wants enough power, this really kind of checks off a lot of boxes. But you can get more power if you want, which is nice as well. Just like you could get a larger screen as well. But seats are comfortable and supportive. I think it was smart to go the cloth route because it allows you to have a lot more tech with that convenience package, which is really nice. And your backseat passengers, when it comes to room, they're gonna be happy. They're just gonna be pissed off because there's nowhere to charge their phone. But you do have wireless charging up here. And I think really one of the biggest features that people want right now currently in their car is the wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which you do have in here, which is wonderful. But super smooth. Remember, you're looking around 31 miles per gallon in the city, and you're touching that 40 range when you're going on the highway. So looking at the competition, that really gives you a nice leg up on plenty of the members of this compact car segment of the auto industry. But hopefully this gave you a good overall feel of what the Elantra is all about. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day with this 2021 Hyundai Elantra SEL. I definitely want to thank Lori and the rest of the crew over at Hyundai USA for allowing Raity's Rides access to this press fleet vehicle. It really goes to show that this brand is not messing around whatsoever. They're trying to bring, of course, more and more, but they're still trying to keep that price point very, very competitive. Can't argue with the warranty, but if you are looking for a compact sedan, you're gonna wanna do your homework. Watch my other reviews covering the Civic, Corolla, Mazda 3, and Forte so you could be better educated, because guess what? You got a tough choice on your hands. But if you wanna keep seeing compact cars like these, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raity's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you, there's two ways to do it. Click the first link in the description, become a Raity's Rides Patreon member. Click the second link, get yourself some Raity's Rides merch. Got to give it up to the queen of the camera. I know which car she would be going with, but we're not going to tell anybody. But thank you for your hard work, Lori. Show her some love in the comment section. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.